Welcome to the Industrial Talk Podcast with Scott Mackenzie. Scott is a passionate industry professional dedicated to transferring cutting-edge, industry-focused innovations and trends while highlighting the men and women who keep the world moving. So put on your hard hat, grab your work boots, and let's go.
All right, welcome to Industrial Talk. Coffee in hand. I'm ready to roll. We are here in Fort Worth, Texas. We are on the floor. We are broadcasting from this incredible event called SMRP. And if you're a maintenance professional, if you're a reliability professional, if you're an asset management professional, if you are in technology, you need to be here. You need to put this on your calendar. And you're saying to yourself, Scott, I'm not here. Well, let's plan for next year, 2026. Find the budget, put it in there, be here. You know why? You know why you need to be here? You get to meet people like Dan Anderson. He's amazing, and he's in the hot seat. He is with us, and he's going to just sort of, through his conversation, change your life.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Impactful words.
Yeah, that's right.
Scott.
That's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
You've changed my life. I've known you for forever.
Oh, it's so good to see you, old friend. It's so good to see you, old friend.
Yes.
It's been several years now, hey?
It has.
Yeah.
I've seen your career journey go, where's you now? Where's you now? What's going on now?
Yeah.
And now you're the head cheese, the grand poobah of SMRP.
Oh, you're too kind.
No.
You are.
No, get out of here, man. No. You know, every year, and I have to say, I go to a number of conferences, and this one stands out all the time. And the reason it stands out is because people are like you, nice, has a real other focus, a desire to help, put themselves. Nobody, and I mean I can say this with a high level of confidence. Nobody just gets exhausted. They just want to help.
Everybody's willing to share around here for sure.
It's so collegial.
Yeah.
It's just an amazing community.
Yeah, it's fantastic to be back, with last year's cancellation due to Hurricane Milton down in Orlando. That was a tough one. So that's what really makes this year super special, is just to get everybody back together. And as you said, before we even got on the premise here, it is a family. It's a reconnection of family.
It
nice.
is. You go out on LinkedIn and it's like, you're going to be there? Yeah, I'm going to be there. Oh, I'm going to be there. Yeah, you just get all giddy. It's all fantastic.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that you continue where you left off. It's like, okay, we'll just go. There's no necessity to go, hey, how you doing? It's like, what are you doing?
No, I think it's just the tight sense of community here, Scott, as you always point out and as you always contribute to us, and it's greatly appreciated here on this end.
Yeah, well, because we have the closing panels. And the one panel that I'm really sort of all giddy about is workforce, right?
Yeah.
Because in the time that I've been here, and we've had, yesterday I had 21 conversations. I was just like, blood. Anyway, it is that workforce conversation. What do we do?
Yeah.
How do we inspire the next generation? How do we rise above the distractions that exist and be able to touch those future leaders? Mm-hmm. It's an interesting conversation. I think SMRP is leading the way. We have to do a better job.
Yeah. Well, just the fact that you're here, you're making it fresh.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We got to continually to make it fresh and make it fun for. Yeah. It's not just an old guy's game anymore, right?
It isn't. We have to reach way down there, inspire, and be able to do that consistently. Not say, hey, I reached out and lukewarm response. And I'm going to give up and not do it. I believe everybody at SMRP, your organization here, has an obligation to be those ambassadors for the next generation.
Yeah, agreed. 100% agreed.
You can tell I've been thinking a lot about this.
I'm sure it's come up a lot on your conversations this week. How do we inspire that next generation?
How?
And with this whole technology-based theme and everything, and I'm a man of fundamentals, but at the same time, too, I recognize the need to lure in new people, fresh, and have a fresh approach,
Yeah, and I got to tell you, being out on the floor, walking around. I wasn't walking around. I've been stuck in the salt mine right here. But I've walked around in the past while I was going to the bathroom over there. And I can see some of the technology going that way. But it's inspiring. There's a lot of incredible solutions that are out there. And I digress because I wanted to make sure that give us a little background on Dan, just to sort of establish that
so right out of college I started off with a little software company. CMMSs were brand new, like back in the early 90s. So started off with a company called DataStream, which transformed into Infor, and now is Hexagon. So
the journey,
very incestual business around here in the software world and the consulting world, all that.
It really is.
Yeah. And so I got to branch off a little bit there, and then go work have a private practice up in Western Pennsylvania where I did CMMS type focused consulting services. Went over to life cycle engineering. That's where we initially met each other for 15 years. I worked there and led the educational department there, the Life Cycle Institute.
Huge.
And since then, kind of went back into the software world for Copperleaf for a while and asset investment planning, and we spoke during that period of time in my career, and now I'm with Reliability X.
I got to tell you, that organization has some of the greatest minds.
Agreed, 100%.
Just there.
Yeah.
It's like, why would, well, I hate to say it, they're there. So go to Reliability X, find the right answers. You want to collaborate with trusted individuals in the world of reliability, asset training, whatever, you need to go there.
Oh, yeah. And I've had a long time. Everybody knows Ramesh, right? Ramesh Galati.
The Galati. A lot of Galati.
Sherpa.
Yeah.
And George Williams and I had a relationship for a long time where he was leading the global maintenance team at Bristol Myers Squibb.
Yeah.
And so George and I maintained contact throughout the years, and I came and joined him back in January. Yeah. So it was kind of a nice full circle to come back into this community, the maintenance and reliability community. I missed the folks, but I got to dabble a little bit in the asset management space, and through Copperleaf, and then come back here. And now I can really promote the synergies in asset management and reliability. So it's been nice.
So you are recently elected president of SMRP.
The chairman of the board.
The chairman of the board.
Yes, sir.
It's like the Frank Sinatra of SMRP. Right there.
Exactly. I don't know Earl Diener, and
there is chairman of the board.
Exactly.
What does that mean?
That means that I will be leading the board of directors with SMRP. So I'll be kind of coordinating the meeting, or being present for the meetings, leading the team of folks that are making the decisions for our membership, and providing value back to our membership. That's my ultimate goal. And I've been engaged with SMRP for 18 years.
Yeah.
So it's been a long time doing that, serving in one capacity. I started off as communications chair, and then outreach director and secretary. I spent the past 2 years as vice chair in progression to this. So it's been a long time coming, and I'm very honored, and I feel very, very honored to be here.
Given what you know about the industry right now, from SMRP's perspective, what are you seeing going forward? What are some of the hot buttons that you think is important for SMRP?
I think the hot buttons, right now is just revamping our body of knowledge, making people aware of the value it provides, out there. But then, getting off of things like we're doing a lot of things like creating a micro-learning series around our body of knowledge, revamping it so you're not just going there and downloading a 200-page PDF file.
Boom.
That it's exactly. You just can't do that anymore.
No.
And of course, it's nice to have that PDF file, but you want to make have some bite-sized chunks of knowledge that you're imparting on people. And our body of knowledge is the best in the world.
It is second to none.
It's reliability. Yeah.
What are some of the challenges outside of that? I see. What are the challenges? Because SMRP needs to succeed.
Yes.
Given what I know about the market, because SMRP is truly, the members are about being more efficient, greater insights, responsive, all of the stuff that is represented by the members here. So What are we talking about?
I think some of the challenges, that you got out there, there's a lot of organizations that preach it out there. And kind of growing our global footprint has been, really, is everybody here to really help you, at the end of the day? Because a partnership, sometimes it's a two-way relationship with partnerships. And so it's focusing in on the ones that you can complement very well. The Institute of Asset Management is one that, we're really focusing and working on, because you have these asset management professionals, which are kind of higher level, white collar, for lack of a better term, whereas ours are a little bit more blue collar, right? We're coming from the manufacturing, the maintenance and reliability profession.
Yeah.
And our body of knowledge really supports those folks at the end of the day to make more informed decisions, to be more proactive in the way that they manage their assets. Whereas, the IAM is great because you're really hitting the executive level contacts, and you're helping them to understand through a policy, a high level, this is my approach to the way that assets will be managed, and this is how it's going to help our business. Whereas we're kind of coming in. So both of our BOKs, through SMRP and the IAM, I think really work well with each other and complement each other really well. So, kind of looking at certain regions, and globally, and where we can kind of implement this and get it out there. But making them aware of the reciprocated benefits between both organizations. And it's tough. It's challenging at times because everybody has their own agenda, and it's kind of putting your guards down just to make sure that you're doing the best for the community and being a good...
See, that's interesting, because I agree with you 100%. One of the things that I struggle with just within industry itself, and I always take that industry perspective, is the messaging is so fragmented. I mean, if I was somebody, just a person looking for something to learn, I don't know where to go.
Yeah.
It's do I go here? Do I go here? Because what's precious to me is my time, making sure that my moves are efficient as well. So if I go down this road, will I get what I need? And it's just, I think industry has to recognize that we're all fragmented in some way. How do we consult? How do we bring it together for a real common vision of help and success?
Yeah. Well, you know me, Scott. I mean, we all have special skills, right? Yeah. Yours is the gift of gab and being able to make educated conversations with folks and really bring some good, knowledge to people out there in the industry. Mine is, I think I'd like to have a skill of bringing people together. That's one thing that I do enjoy is helping people and helping them to learn from each other. And so that's one of my primary goals as the chairman of SMRP, is to really bring folks together, to spread that knowledge, to help them learn and get better at what they do and all that stuff. And you have to navigate through all the politics, and that sometimes really makes it tough.
Yeah.
And you're right, there are so many little fiefdoms of knowledge that are out there, and it's so easy nowadays with just it coming at you from all angles that it gets very confusing.
So here's an example. CMMS. There are, 10, 12 represented here. And I always have this conversation, it's like, and what do you do? Well, we track assets. What is your secret sauce? What differentiates you? And that's when the confusion happens, because it's hard. And some companies have that function is over here.
Yeah.
And it does this. And if I was just Scott Mackenzie out in the field, well, what? Again, if you bring people together and if we collaborate, I think we succeed.
Oh, you get so much more accomplished.
Yeah.
You really do. When you're not just thinking of your own personal agenda, but you're thinking of how can I better things for other people. I think that's, at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do. And as you enter in a phase in life that you really want to transition that knowledge to people.
Yeah.
And the younger generation, we started off talking
mentor,
about the
baby.
Mentor. It's the key. You reach a certain age in life where it's like, it's not all about you.
Right.
It's about giving back to the community, for sure.
We do. And I agree. There has to be, you have to be inspired by that whole macro perspective of saying, no, you need to give back. And I have three legs to the stool. It's multiple stool legs, but I always go to the three because, well, I can't remember what the other ones was, like speed. But the three that I always say, it's always educate. And especially now, we have to educate because it's happening so fast.
Yeah.
It's just, and I'll ask a question about what SMRP is doing, but from an education perspective, you have to. You have to be a student, constantly consuming, because it's happening fast. The other thing is that when you look around at this particular event, you don't have all the answers. You don't. You need to collaborate. You need to find those trusted individuals to be able to say, yes, I'll work with you, I'll collaborate with you, we're going to make something bigger, better, stronger. The pie is bigger.
Yeah.
Just you're not cutting yourself out. And the last one is innovate. You're going to have to do it. You're going to have to figure that out. And you can't do it without it. How is SMRP dealing with, you got your body of knowledge, all of the changes that are taken? How do you update that body of knowledge? Or do you just stick with the blocking and tackling that's pretty consistent throughout the years, but there's just so much else being thrown at these reliability engineers and maintenance and all of that stuff?
I know. That's a great question there, Scott.
Because I don't.
It's very difficult, navigating this whole landscape of, technologies that are out there and available to you, but with the fundamentals. And I've always been a guy I like the blocking, the tackling. You got to be able to throw the ball, run the bases, hit the ball. It's a very simple game, the game of baseball. But it can be applied back to maintenance and reliability. And starting off, from a technology standpoint, from the software angle, when I started out of college and CMMSs were brand new, and this was something, we're not doing on pen and paper anymore, we're using a computer for it. Well, now with AI, with all the predictive maintenance, technologies that are out there, it still comes back to those fundamentals. I think the way that we're adding value back to our membership is being able to make it more accessible and make it more easier to access versus having to go through and do a lot of clicks and do a lot of research to find it, to have it there, have it on your iPhone to where it's very accessible versus having to go in. If you go in right now to the SMRP website, right, you have to do some searching, but there's a vast amount of information that's available, everything from webinars to best practice metrics that are out there available for all of our membership. But it's you have to dig a little bit. I'll be honest. And so what we're doing is revamping all that, and making it more accessible, bringing it up to 2025 standards versus the 1990s.
You bring up a really interesting point. I've had conversations where something pops up. It's a pop-up, right, on a website, and then people get upset because it's a click. Yeah, a click. Yeah. I gotta move this mouse and click and find that little X.
You can't just talk it into my iPhone and it automatically find it and feed that information,
But that's the market we live in. That's the reality of it.
Yeah.
It's the Amazon mindset. I ordered it. Where is it? It better be here.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Well, Amazon would bring it in. Blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
It's just the expectations of that, and I absolutely agree with you 100%.
Yeah, the speed in delivering information for sure that you're looking for on a moment's notice.
Spot on.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely spot on. So, with all that said, with all that wonderful stuff, with all that desire to collaborate, where do we stand? And we stand in the world of, and I have to say it because everybody's talking about it. What is your position on AI?
AI can be harnessed very well. I'm using AR in my AI.
Augmented reality.
I know, augmented reality. I wish. I wish I could, just kind of fuck. But AR is actually very.
They're there.
They're
there. Unit for their planes.
So AI. I use AI in my everyday life. I think a lot of folks are kind of getting introduced to it through ChatGPT nowadays, right?
Yeah.
It helps you to kind of go through and get over that writer's block, give you some good foundational ideas. But at the end of the day, what it's spitting out to you in the current state is very scripted.
Yeah.
And, somebody like yourself or myself that's from the old generation, you just have to go to the library and look at the microfiche and, go through the Rolodex and read a book and cite the book and all that stuff, That's no longer a way of doing things. So you have to go through and control AI. Yeah. And it has to be led. I was sitting on a plane with a guy from Mackenzie, a very intelligent gentleman.
Of course, with Mackenzie.
Yeah. But he was a VP with Mackenzie, and that's what he was doing. He was like, what can we do to control the AI? So he was devising strategies for large corporations that were human-led interactions with AI. And how do you do it? AI can make you more efficient, but at the end of the day, it's not going to make those decisions. And I think the human element is still very critical in that
That's
regard.
where I wanted to go.
Yeah.
You're absolutely spot on. I think that a lot of this stuff, even all of the technology here and AI as well, is all wonderful. They're tools.
Yeah.
There is no way, at this point in time, I can't think of a way that you can extricate the human interaction.
Yeah.
It's still, do you take and trust AI to come up with a solution? Do you just lean on AI and allow AI to create the work order and do this and deploy? No, AI is great at looking at just a tsunami of data, taking it and saying, yeah, there's an anomaly. Give that to that specialist to say, yeah, that is an anomaly. I'll do this. I'll create and make it more efficient. Instead of me, Scott Mackenzie, having to rifle through all that data and not seeing it.
Yeah,
that's what I see. It will never replace the human. Take it to the bank.
It won't. And if you're sitting there, and it's funny, Reese Witherspoon spoke. I think you were at the SAP Sapphire conference. Were you maybe a year ago or something?
Yeah, no.
But down there in Orlando, Reese Witherspoon was saying, she gave a very good keynote presentation at this conference, and she said, if you think that AI is going to take your job, no, the people that don't learn AI are going to take your jobs. So it's like you really have to just adopt to it.
Yeah.
And it's easy. It's going to make your job easier. You just have to learn it and be able to harness that technology.
You know what? I was in Barcelona, and this was I was broadcasting from an event called IoT Solutions World Congress. So this was, let's say 7 years ago, whatever, it was years. And they were having workshops on AI, but the conversation was, how do we create sort of guardrails? How do we do this? And it was just, AI is going to happen. When is it going to? I don't know. It's just like, this is like an exercise, and it's great to sort of, what if that? Yeah. And then all of a sudden, that switch change. One day we didn't have it. ChatGPT happens, and everybody's like, whoa. Yeah. And it just catches fire and it goes, and then all of a sudden everybody's talking about, what are those guardrails? What do we do? How do we manage that? And as we continue to just again go forward, we're talking specifically about, this is fine, you got to learn it. I think everybody's becoming more savvy when it comes to it, and yet it does help us become more efficient, and it's out.
Yeah. It's here.
It's here.
It's not going back. We're not going away from it. Just like social media, it's here. So you just have to learn how to adopt.
Learn how to do it.
Yeah,
absolutely. You are absolutely spectacular, Dan Anderson.
I love you, Scott Mackenzie. You're the best.
Shut the front door.
Yeah, man.
How do people get a hold of you, Dan? What's the best way?
You can find me through LinkedIn.
Yay!
Dan Anderson, Reliability X. So if you want to reach out to me via email, dan.anderson@reliabilityx.com.
Dan Anderson. Okay, so here's your to-do list. 1, connect with Dan Anderson. 2, connect with Dan Anderson. There's no other 2 in your to-do list. Make sure you make it happen, because he knows exactly what's going on. And if you're in the world of asset management, reliability, maintenance, technology, this isn't the event for you. You need to come to SMRP. Put it on your calendar for next year. If you're not here this year, put it on your calendar. You will not, I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed, because you're going to be meeting with people like Dan and others who just are passionate about your success. So we're going to wrap it up on the other side. Stay tuned. We will be right back.
You're listening to the Industrial Talk Podcast Network.
It never disappoints. Never, ever disappoints. SMRP never disappoints. Dan Anderson knocking it out of the park. But you know what's amazing about SMRP? One, there are a lot of Dan Andersons roaming around there that are passionate about your success. They're everywhere, and they're nice, and they are willing to give of their time, insights for you to be successful. You need to put some budget money into place. You need to be there in 2026. I will be there. I'll be on the floor. Yes. And you can come and talk to me. You know why? Because we need to continue to tell the story of industry. We need to inspire the next generation of leaders. You are responsible for that. I can help. Just go out to Industrial Talk. Connect with me. You will not be disappointed. Again, you're responsible for inspiring that next generation. All right, be bold, be brave, dare greatly. Hang out with Dan. Change the world. We're going to have another great conversation shortly, so stay tuned.